Hello, hi everyone. I guess you all are going great. You all are very good. It's been 4 days. I was not live. Okay, so I break the momentum, but okay, let's start again. So just a quick story before starting today. I was like feeling like I should not do this. I was not ready at all. But I still decided to do it because if I don't do today, because I'm well now, so but I should better do this. Sickness is something that affects your productivity really hard. Can't do anything about this. That's why exercising is so important. We should exercise so that our body, have the capacity to fight with diseases and all. Okay, let's go. It's chapter number 5 and page number 117. Influences. Hopefully, by now, you understand exactly how important your choices are. Even those that seem insignificant, when compounded, can make an extreme impact on your life. We've also discussed the fact that you are 100% responsible for your life. You alone are responsible for the choices you make and the actions you take. That said, you must also realize your choices, behaviors, and habits are influenced by very powerful external forces. Most of us aren't aware of the subtle control these forces have on our lives. For you to sustain a positive trajectory towards your goals, you will need to understand and govern these influences. This is to ensure they this is to ensure they support rather than derail your journey towards success. Everyone is affected by three kinds of influences: input, what you feed your mind; associations, the people you spend time with; and environment, your surroundings. So, three things. The input you take, like maybe the means the content we consume, or the books we read, or the videos we watch, anything, or the thoughts, and associations like the people, all the friends and family, your girlfriend, boyfriend, and environment, like in what kind of environment you are. Okay, page number 118. Input garbage in. Number 1, input garbage in, garbage out. If you want your body to run at peak performance, you have to be vigilant about consuming the highest quality nutrients and avoiding tempting junk food. If you want your brain to perform at its peak, you have to be even more vigilant about what you feed it. You are feeding it constantly with negative news or mind numbing TV shows. Are you stuffing your head full of BuzzFeed gossip, inane social media, or TikTok videos? The input you ingest has a direct and measurable impact on your productivity and outcomes. Keeping control over what. Okay, so this is saying that if you are constantly inputting all the negative things, like negative things, news, negative food, like not negative food, junk food, then you will not be healthy, right? If you're consuming junk food, you will not be healthy. It will harm your health and you will get fat. So whatever you put inside of you, that will reflect. Like if you eat a lot of junk food, your skin quality will get reduced, and you will get pimples, and you will be sick, right? And this is also in terms of consuming news, consuming news, junk content in your YouTube, Instagram, and other platforms. Keeping control over what our brains consume is especially difficult because so much of what we take in is unconscious. Although it's true that we can eat without thinking, it's easier to pay attention to what we put in our bodies because food doesn't leap into our mouths. We need we need an extra layer of vigilance to prevent our brains from absorbing irrelevant, counterproductive, or downright destructive input. It's a never ending battle to be selective and to stand guard against any information that can derail your creative potential. It's important to understand that your brain is not designed to make you happy. Your brain has only one agenda in mind: survival. It is always watching for signs of lack of attack. Your brain is programmed to seek out the negative, dwindling resources, destructive weather, potential threat, whatever's out to hurt you. So, when you open up those news alert on your phone in the morning and get bombarded with all those reports and about robberies, fires, attacks, and tanking economy, your brain lights up. Your brain will now spend all day chewing over the feast of fear, worry, negativity. Same deal when you scroll through updates in the evening. More bad news? Question mark. Perfect. Your mind will stew on that all night long. Actually, something like that happened with me. I remember. I remember that day. I was okay. I was completely fine. My mood was good. It was good. Everything was good, and I was watching that time my morning was productive. I did exercise and all, and that day I watched a movie called Thappad, which is very traumatizing for a woman, for any it's traumatizing. So after watching that movie, I felt, very low, very down. I was overthinking. It made me really feel bad, and before watching that I was completely fine. Hmm. Your mind will stew on that all night long. Page number 119. Left to its own devices, your mind will traffic in the negative, worrisome, and fearful all day and night. We can't change our DNA, but we can change our behavior. We can teach our minds to look beyond lack and attack. How? Can we can protect our feet we can protect and feed our minds. We can be disciplined and proactive about what we allow in. I know it's difficult to find a consistent, positive, and abundant minded source input to start each day. It is why I created Run Daily. I write, record, and deliver a 5-minute mentoring video every day, especially specially designed to kickstart your morning and help you become #better every day. Author trying to promote his theraindaily.com. Next heading: don't drink dirty water. When you get in life what you create. Expectation drives the creative process. What do you expect? Question mark. You export whatever sorry. You expect whatever it is you are thinking about. your thought process, the conversation in your head, is at the best of the results you created in life. So the question is, what are you thinking about? Question mark. What is the influencing and directing your thoughts? What is influencing and directing your thoughts? The answer, whatever you are allowing yourself to hear and see. This is the input you are feeding your brain, period. Wait, let me have a water break. Your mind is like an empty glass. It will hold anything you put into it. You put in sensational news, salacious headline, talk show rants, and you're pouring dirty water into your glass. If you got drank dismal, worrisome water in your glass, everything you page number 120, everything you create will be filtered through that muddy mess, because that's what you are thinking about. Garbage in, garbage out. All that drive time radio yak about murders, conspiracy, death, economy, and political battles drives your thinking process, which drives your expectation, which drives your creative output. That is bad news. But like just like a dirty glass, if you flush it with clear water under the faucet long enough, eventually you will end up with a glass of pure clear water. What is Clearwater? Positive, inspirational, and supportive input ideas. Stories of aspirations. People who, despite challenges, are overcoming obstacles and achieving great things. Strategies of success, prosperity, health, love, and joy. Ideas to create more abundance, to grow, expand, and become more. This is why I work so hard, deliver there and daily each workday. I want to provide you with those examples and stories and the key takeaways you can use to improve your view of the world, yourself, and the results you create. That's also why I read something inspirational and instructional for 30 minutes in the morning and evening, and have personal development podcast playing in my car. While I work out, work the dog, and do chores, I'm flushing my glass and feeding my mind. Does this give me an edge over the guy who gets up and read newspaper first thing, listens to news radio on his commute to and work and watches or scroll through the evening news before going to bed? You bet it does, and it can for you too. Wait. Step 1. Stand guard. Unless you decide to hole up in a cave or on a desert island, you're going to get dirty water in your glass. It's going to be on billboards or CNN while you are walking through the airport, on the screaming tabloid headlines at the checkout when you are buying groceries, etc. Even friends, family members, and your own negative mental tapes can flood dirty water in your glass. But that doesn't mean you can't take steps to limit your exposure all the time. Grim. Maybe you can't avoid the negative post when you go through social media, but you can limit the amount of time you are logged in. You can refuse to listen to the radio to and from work, and instead put on an instructional and inspirational audiobook or podcast. You can put down your phone and talk to your loved ones instead. You can press play on those show recommendations you feel are truly educational and life affirming, and speed through the commercial aimed at making you feel inadequate or lacking useless. You buy more crap. I didn't know. I didn't really grow up with TV. I remember watching Solid Gold and Team and that A Team. Remember them? But television wasn't a big part of our family life. I managed somehow to thrive without it, and that's given me a clearer picture perspective when I watch in page number 122. Watch an occasional program now. Sure, I laugh along with this sitcom, but afterward I feel the same as if I ate fast food, bloated and malnourished. And I can get over how commercial prey on our psychology, our fears, pains, needs, and weaknesses. Okay, if I walk through life thinking that I'm not enough just as I am, that I need to buy this, that, and the other things to be of, how can I expect to create amazing results? It's estimated that Americans 12 and older spend 1,704 hours watching TV per year, the average out of 4.7 hours per day. We're spending almost 30% of our work hours watching TV, almost 33 per hour per week, more than one whole day each week. It's the equivalent of watching TV for 2 solid months out of every 12. Whoa, and people wonder why they can't get ahead in life. I need to switch on the fan. It I hope I'm audible. 122 page number. Put yourself on a media diet. The media thrives on taking us hostage. Ever been stuck on the freeway in traffic, backed up for miles, making you late, wondering what the heck holding everything up? You're sure enough, when you finally get close, you see that nothing physically is blocking the flow of cars. The wreck clearly happened a while ago and has since been moved to the side of the freeway. The 3 mph I was crawl was caused by people rubbernecking. Now you're really irritated. But what happens when your car passes the rack? You slow way down, you take eyes off the road in front of you and crane your own neck. Why do good, decent people want to see something tragic and grotesque? It's genetic heritage, going back to the prehistoric sense of self preservation. We can't help ourselves, even if we are adept at avoiding negativity and have trained ourselves to be. Page number 123. Relentlessly positive. When it comes to sensational, our basic nature can't resist. Media masters understand that. They know your nature in many ways better than you. The media has always used shocking and sensational headlines to draw your attention. But today, instead of three news, TV and radio networks, there are hundreds running 24/7 instead of a few newspapers. There are endless portals reaching us from our computers to our phones. The competition for your attention has never been bloodier, and the media jockeys continually up the ante in shock value. They find a dozen or so of the most heinous, scandalous, criminal, murderous, bleak, and horrid things that happen in the world each day and parade them through our papers, news channels, and the web over and over. Plus, nowadays anyone with a social media handle can choose to share, spread, and pass on negative stories while a quick click of a button. Meanwhile, during that same 24-hour period, millions of wonderful people, incredible things have happened. Yet we hear very little about them. Being weird to seek out the negative, we create the demand for more and more. How could the positive news stories ever hope to compete with those rating shares or advertising dollars? Let's go back to our freeway. Instead of a rack on the side of the road, what if there was the most stunning, miraculous sunset you've ever seen? What would happen to the traffic then? I've seen this many times. It whizzes it whizzes by at the top speed. The great danger of the media is that it gives us a very perverted view of the world, because the focus on the repetition of messaging in on the negative, that's what our mind starts believing. This wrapped and narrow view of what's not working has a severe influence on your creative potential. It can be crippling. Page number 124. My personal junk filter. I'll share what I do to safeguard my mind, but I warn you, I have rigorous mental diet. You will want to adjust to your own preferences, but this system has worked beautifully for me. And you might guess, I don't watch or listen to any news, and I don't read any news feeds or news publications. I am that person. I don't listen to news at all. I've stopped doing that few years ago. Yeah. And I don't read any news feeds or news publications. 99% of all news has no bearing on my personal life or my personal goals, dreams, and ambitions anyway. I have set up a few RSS feeds identifying the news and industry updates that do pertain to my direct interest and goals. The news that's helpful to me gets plucked out the fray, so I don't have to get any mud slung into my glass of water. While most people wade through hours of irrelevant garbage and hampers their thinking and crushes their spirit, I get the most productive information I need when I need it in less than 15 minutes a day. Step 2. Enroll in Drive Time U. It's not enough to eliminate negative input. To move in a positive direction, you must flush out the bad up and fill up on the good. My car won't move without two things: gasoline and ever present library of instructional podcasts and audiobooks I listen to as I drive. The average American drives about 12,000 miles a year. That's 300 hours of flushing potential right there. Brian Tracy taught me the concept of turning my car into a mobile classroom. He explained to me that by listening to instructional materials as I drive, I gain knowledge to equivalent to 2 semesters of an advanced college degree every year. Think about it. Using the time you are currently wasting by listening to drive time radio, you could obtain the equivalent a PhD in leadership, sales success, wealth building, relationship excellence, or whatever course you choose. This commitment in combination with a two reading routine separates you from the herd of average, one podcast or book at a time. By the way, if you want a podcast that will give you page number 125, associations. Next, who's influencing you? Birds of the feather flock together. The people with whom you habitually associate are called your reference group. According to research by social psychologist Dr. David McClelland of Harvard, your group determines as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. Who do you spend the most time with? Who are the people you most admire? Are those two groups of people exactly the same? If not, why not? Jim Rohn taught that we become the combined average of the five people we hang around the most. Ron would say we could tell the quality of our health, attitude, and income by looking at the people around us. The people with whom we spend our time determine what conversation dominate our attention, along with the attitudes and opinions we are regularly exposed to. Eventually, we start to eat what they eat, talk like they talk, read what they read, think like they think, watch what they watch, treat people how they treat them, even dress like they dress. The funny thing is, more often than not, we are completely unaware of the similarities between us and our circle of five. How are we not aware? Because our associations don't. Page number 126. Show you in a direction they nudge you ever so slightly over time. Their influence is so subtle that it's like being on an inner tube out of the ocean, feeling like you're floating in place. That is, until you look up and realize the gentle current has pushed you a half mile down the shore. Think of your friends who order greasy appetizer or a cocktail before dinner, and that's their routine. Hang out with them enough, and you will find yourself grabbing with for cheese, nachos, and potato skins, and joining them for the extra beer or glass of wine. Your pace will suddenly match their pace. Meanwhile, your other friends order healthy food and talk about the inspiring books they're reading, their new goals and business aspirations. Soon you begin to assimilate their behaviors and habits. You read and talk about what they talk about. You see the movies they're excited about, and you go to the places they recommend. The influence your friends have over you is subtle and can be positive or negative. Either way, the impact is incredibly powerful. Watch out. You cannot hang out with negative people and expect to live a positive life. So, what is the combined average income, health, or attitude of five people you spend most time with? Does the answer frighten you? If so, the best way to increase the potential for whatever traits you desire is to spend the majority of your time with people who already possess those traits. You will then see the power of influence work for you rather than against you. The behaviors and attitude that help them acquire the success you admire will begin to become part of your daily routine. Hang around them long enough and you are likely to realize similar successful outcomes in your life. If you haven't already, jot down the names of 5 people you hang around the most. Also, write down their main characteristics, both positive and negative. If it doesn't matter who are they, it could be your spouse, your brother, your neighbor, or your assistant. Now, average them out. What's their average health and bank balance? What's their average relationship like? As you look at the results, ask yourself, is this list okay for me? Is this where I want to go? It's the time to reappraise and reprioritize the people you spend time with. These relationships can nurture you, strafe you, or keep you stuck. Now that you've started to carefully consider who you spend your time with, let's go little deeper. As Jim Rohn taught me, it's powerful to evaluate and shift your associations into 3 categories: disassociations, limited associations, and expanded associations. Page number 27 going on. I'll end up here today. We'll start again tomorrow. Started today and it's good that I started again and it's almost over. Within 3 to 4 days it will be over. Not feeling that much energetic today because doing it after so many days, but okay, I still done it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, bye, see you tomorrow, and for sure, and tomorrow 7 p.m. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye bye, good night. I hope you all are doing great in your life.